Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Give a Scrap collaboration hop that is hosted by Angela, the traveling crafter. So we're supposed to take some trash and recyclables and stuff like that and turn it into something. So I wanted to show you some of the items that I'm going to be working with. One is this Standard of Conduct book that is from, gosh, I know a nurse owned it, but I don't know the date. I'm going to say anywhere between the 50s and the 70s would be my guess, because it's not marked. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to find the cleanest pages that I can, and I'm going to print my digital kit out on it. I think that'll be cool. I've been thinking about doing something like this for a while, so this is the perfect excuse to use old papers to do that. The print obviously will show through, so it's going to be very interesting effect on the digital kit. The digital kit that I plan on using is called Steampunk World, so I feel like that's grungy enough theme that I can get away with doing this. This is a map of this is a site plan for St. Elizabeth's Hospital, and this is one of the hospitals that this nurse worked at for many, many years. I have these old envelopes. These are from 1979. Okay, this one's from 81. So all of these are vintage and within that time frame. So I think the colors are perfect. And these, I think, will be the pages, so it'll be like the size of a traveler's notebook. I think that's fun. I might go ahead and turn this U.S. government messenger envelope into the cover of the journal. Now, as you can see, this is really old too. I was given, and from the same person, that she was a nurse, I was given a huge lot of boxes, and they were either going in the trash, the shredder, or they could come to me and I could try to use them on something. So definitely a great time to be able to upcycle these items. So this should be a pretty cool cover, nice and grungy. So I'm going to try to go with a grungy steampunk theme. I'm going to try for it. I'm not natural at grungy, but I'm going to really try. And then as you can see, this is a super tattered file folder, and even some ink bled through on it. And this has a stamp on it. I don't know why. It probably came off of something. Oh, it must have. And look, here's an old, I don't know if you can see this, but right here was where there was a paper clip and the rust soaked into this notebook. And this says something about Richmond, Virginia, because that's St. Elizabeth's was in either Virginia or Washington, so it makes sense that it would say this. And this says something about the Center National Bank building. This is great. So this is nice and grungy. I'll have to probably cut it to make sure it's more of an 8.5 by 11, but it's a great grungy base to start with, you guys. So I just wanted to show you some of the items. I'm probably going to be grabbing some cereal boxes and things like that to make the tags on. I'm going to try to make everything recyclables or trash. All right. Hello, my friends. So I'm getting ready to do the flip through of the journal that I created for this fun collaboration, which is hosted by our friend Angela, the traveling crafter. This is Give a Scrap. And I wanted to share, before I flip through this grungy steampunk journal, I wanted to share with you also who I give a scrap about. Well, of course, I give a scrap about all of you. And a quick thank you to Angela for hosting this very fun collaboration. I love it. I love it. But I wanted to mention Jessie Journals and Unboxes. This is the person who I am sharing today, and that is the name of her YouTube channel. And she also has an Instagram channel, which is Jessie_M_87. So check her out. That is who I've chosen to support today. So friends, give a scrap. We are supposed to use scrappy things, trashy things to create something. And I was so excited because I always mix old and new, but everything that I put on here is either vintage, old, saved from the shredder or trash, or given to me. Nothing, not one single thing in this journal is new. So let's start by looking at the spine. These two little cabochons were thrifted. This was given to me. The burlap was used. The fabric is vintage, and that was also given to me. This envelope is from the I do believe 60s. This is a government envelope actually, and this was given to me in a pile of old used papers that the person was actually going to shred, and I said, let me see if I can repurpose some of them. Inside is a beautiful handmade envelope and note card. Of course, it's empty, can be used. And so since this was the type of envelope that ties, which I think is awesome, I just figured I'd stuff something in there. Why not take advantage of the pocket that was already there? Now you're going to notice also this butterfly that's on this burlap. This was given to me. Everything in here, nothing is new. Even though I know that's a dollar store butterfly, but that was given to me from somebody who used to junk journal but no longer does, so they gave me a bunch of their stuff. You can see this old government envelope here. It's got writing on it. So I wanted to tell you that I printed my Steampunk World kit out on paper, and it's actually book pages. So you're going to notice some of the images will have typewriting on them. This one happened to be plain on the front, so I just printed the kit on it and did a little bit of stenciling. Here's a charm here. Most of the pages have been torn. You can see there'll be a nice tattered edge. This is I was going for a very grungy steampunk feel, and I love how this turned out, and I hope you guys love it too. So we're going to turn the page, and you'll notice there's a lot of fabric tabs throughout, vintage cotton, and this is also vintage cotton up here. It's plain, but it's vintage. This was a book page. You can see the rusty staple that was here at the bottom. Left it plain so you'd have a place to write or add a photo or whatever you wanted to do with it. All these envelopes that you're going to see in here, these brown envelopes, they're dated from the I'd say 1980s most likely. Some of them we'll be able to find a date on. And then there's these check registers, and these are old and original and probably anywhere from the 80s, 1980s. Bank statements, like this is an old bank statement that's been coffee dyed, and these are probably 1980s as well. This is some vintage wrapping paper that was gifted to me. Another old envelope. Here is one of the digital kits with painted on the book page, so you can see the book page writing on there. And I added some charms. These charms were given to me. The one thing I purchased were the bulb pins. So mostly the bulb pins are going to be the one thing that I purchased. So anyway, another plain piece here. Another check register dated 1987. Some really fun stuff. This was given to me, as was this, and that's adhered to a bank statement. This is some Amazon packaging, and there's the writing from the bank statement. This envelope was dated 1981, and you can see I put a vintage book page on the other side so you could see the lady looking through the window. And then I also turned this into a pocket. This is one of my master boards. Old book page. Oh, the mulberry paper. Sorry, I did purchase this mulberry paper, so they're going to see a couple of sheets of this throughout. This is some old paper here. The stickers that you're going to see, that was a sticker book that was given to me. This lace was given to me, and there is one of the pieces from the digital kit. Old envelope turned into a pocket. You know how back in the day we'd get our bank statements and they'd have these advertisements in them? Well, that's what that is. And here we've got the charms here, steampunk charms, and the center of the first signature. Here's another charm here. book page. Envelope, so the part where the envelope opens and closes, I went ahead and turned that into a pocket. And then this is from an old book. This is from a sticker book that was given to me. Here's another charm, it's a clock. Here we have this this scrapbook paper with the steampunk butterflies. Those were given to me by Sue of Crafty Sue 519. And this envelope is dated 1979. More mulberry paper here. Envelope turned into a pocket. This image was from an old book, and the cardstock was from Sue, Crafty Sue 519. Old bank statement. I left them, if they had lines, I left it plain so that you could write on it if you wanted to. Amazon packaging. This bank statement or register is from either 1985, 86, or 87. And this is the other side of the digital kit printed on a book page and a tag that I printed out. Another belly band made out of that lace that was given to me. Oh, let me tuck this in so we can see it through the envelope. There we go. The vintage wallpaper. I just did a little paper flip here. Both of these were given to me, and this sheet on top was given to me by Penny of Penny's Crafty Creations. Old bank statement and check register. These were given to me. You're going to see a couple of these throughout the journal. They were given to me by Annie of Annie Creates. And this shiny little brad I actually found at the thrift store. Some more Amazon packaging. And we can see this old image through the window. Another thing from Annie of Annie Creates. This as well, that was in the same packet of goodies that she sent me. This is old book page. You can see the staple mark here that's been rusted. Old book page here as well. And that is the end of the first signature. Now we're going to go into the second signature. And this is an old book page here, and I added the vintage fabric. And then, sorry, but this is new. It was given to me, but it's new. And then I stenciled over it just to give it an extra layer of interest. This was given to me by Penny of Penny's Crafty Creations. And just a nice big tag. Printable kit. This is a file folder, and it was from, parts of it are in here, and parts of it does have the date on it. I saw it. Anyway, this was a scrap, and I figured I'd use it because I thought it was pretty cool. This is, I do believe, old book page. This is not super old, but this was given to me. Oh, and these stickers were given to me by Annie of Annie Creates. You can see I did stenciling on almost every page in this journal. Fabric tab here, another book page that I printed the kit out on. I thought it was kind of interesting to do that. I think it works really well for a grungy journal such as this. 1990, 91, or 92 for this check register here. This image comes from an old book, and I turned this into a pocket. And when we flip it over, this one goes in the same pocket, but just flipped this way. This is some vintage music paper. Butterfly given to me, stickers from Annie Creates. Another image from the kit. And then we have a paper bag, and this paper bag I do believe was given to me by Dale of Not Too Shabby Chic. I made some fabric paper flips. So I took the vintage fabric, I put some old paper in it, as you can see, and then I sewed it and then just added this fun button. And that fits right here inside of this pocket. Wait, hold on. There's two pockets here. One with the lace and one with the paper. There we go. Okay. Mulberry paper. Old envelope from 1981. and something in the pocket here. So this is cool. So in this one, in the window, you can see this cool piece, but then you can also see a photograph. And then this beautiful piece of paper was given to me in Happy Mail, and then I just added a piece of the printable kit to it. Here we have a paper flip. And this sticker book where I got this sticker was given to me by Kara of Paper Confessions with Kara Mia. And then the paper that I stuck it to was given to me by Penny of Penny's Crafty Creations. Another charm that was given to me. Image from the printable kit. Here we have another paper flip. And another paper flip. Oh yeah, this is another piece of the really old file folder. You can, look how tattered it is. Like I didn't do that. That's all natural. This paper was given to me, and this is an old book page. Actually, this is not so much a book page as it was. It was a government sort of document or paper for conduct, actually. So here's some more charms, and you can see I printed the kit here. We are at the center of the second signature. Here we have a paper flip. And another one. Yes, the Code of Ethics for Government Service. And another image from the kit, and then some fabric. And I put this shoe, that was a sticker from Paper Confessions with Kara Mia on the vintage envelope. More mulberry paper. Bag from Dale of Not Too Shabby Chic. 2 items in this pocket. This was an old image from a book, and I put it on the paper from Crafty Sue 519. And then this, actually, yes, this is newer. The paper was thrifted, actually, and then I did some eco dye on it, and I'll have a video on how I did that coming up. I don't remember when I scheduled it for. I'm gonna travel for my nephew's graduation, and so I'm trying to schedule videos so that there'll be some going out when I'm on travel. A page from the printable kit. Vintage music paper. Another old envelope turned pocket with some more eco dye and image from an old book. This one is dated 1981. Here's the other side of the check register. I put the clock sticker, which was from Kara. And this is dated 1991. And here's a paper flip. Oops. And this is a fun tag created from a belly band. Not a belly band, but a masterboard. And I used vintage book pages to create the masterboard. And here's an image from the kit. Now this, I love this so much, but let me show you this first. So envelope turned into a pocket, and then this I just love. So this lady wrote her boyfriend a note when he was in, looks like World War II, and she typed a letter to him, and here's the letter. And this was actually given to me in a swap and glue, and I loved it, and I didn't use it in the swap and glue, so I decided I'd go ahead and, you know, tear it out and staple it together and pop it in this pocket. And I think it just goes so well in this grungy journal. And this envelope is dated 1981 as well. This is another book page. I printed the kit on the back. This envelope is dated 1981, and I turned it into a pocket. This was also given to me by Terry of Tellin's Place in a swap and glue, and I just thought the image was so great, so I put it aside so I could use it for this journal. And then over here we have another fabric, and I turned it into a pocket. So here we are starting the third signature, and we have a nice image from the printable kit. All of this is from the printable kit. It's called Steampunk World, and it is available in my Etsy shop if you're interested. This thrifted piece here, some vintage cotton here. This piece from Annie Creates, and this piece from Cara, Paper Confessions with Cara Mia. Envelope. This is the grungy file folder, and there's the original writing on it, which I love. Look how just grungy it truly is. And this says U.S. Air Mail 10 cents. And I was looking for a date on here. I'm pretty sure it had to be 1960s, but I don't see a date. But I do see this says Richmond, Virginia, and then there's an address here. And that's just from ink bleeding off of a piece of paper. You can see remnants of a paper clip here that got rusty. Wrapping paper, old book page here, vintage book page. Pocket for a piece from the kit. Here's another book page. And this I also turned into a little bit of a tuck spot. This is a map of St. Elizabeth's Hospital, and this is the site plan, and that is where the lady where I got the bulk of the vintage papers and envelopes and check registers, all of that belonged to her, and she was a nurse, and so that's why I have a site map of St. Elizabeth's Hospital. And so here we are just going to open this and check out the tags. Whoops, here we go. Pop these back in here. This is from a vintage book here. Here we have a little paper flip adhered to a book page. This is an Encyclopedia Britannica Index and Atlas. This is an image from the printable kit. A nice paper flip here. Oh, this is a piece of paper that I made. I used a Dremel tool actually to grind up the edges of the paper, and I coffee dyed it, of course, before I did that. But it's so nice and rich and grungy, and I love it. Here we have a little pocket attached to the bag that I put a little tag in, and then in the bag we have another one of my fabric paper flips. Love these. Such a great way to use up some scrap fabric and scrap paper. And there's a couple of charms on there. There's 3 different charms on there actually. Now let me get this to the center so I can pop it back in there. Here we have a piece from the printable, and I just turned it into a pocket for this tag, all adhered to a vintage envelope. This is a little Tim Holtz guy, but I didn't buy him. He was given to me. This is from Annie Creates, and this is printable on book page. Here we have a paper flip. Well, kind of a paper, yeah, I guess it's a paper flip. This is a nice old envelope that I coffee dyed, and man, did it turn out good. Love how that turned out. Easily can be written on. This is an image from an old book that I had. And here we have a couple of gears to stick with our steampunk theme. Here is a vintage envelope turned pocket, and I added 2 tags to it. Another book page here, and the kit printed on the book page. Envelope turned pocket, and we've got a couple of different things. We have some eco-dyed paper and 2 tags. This is a vintage advertisement, and looking through the window is more vintage advertising from the 1950s. Here's another part of the bag. I think I had put 2 bags in the journal, which creates 4 pockets. And so I made a couple of tags to put inside. This image was given to me by Penny of Penny's Crafty Creations. And then I stuffed just this piece of paper too. And that was also given to me by Penny of Penny's Crafty Creations. And then here we have a pocket made out of the lace. And then this piece of paper that I made. Another book page, and the kit printed out on the back of that book page. This is the other side of the encyclopedia, which was vintage, and that's a pocket there, and I put this beautiful tag in it, and this was given to me by Penny also. Then here is a piece of my eco-dyed paper. Let me see if I can open it for you. A little piece of a plant fiber here, I think. There we go. Isn't it? It turned out really cool. I wasn't sure how I felt about them, but after putting them away and then pulling them out to use in here, I'm like, oh man, they're pretty cool. I was very uncertain when I first finished them, but now I'm very happy with them. This is the other side of the site plan for St. Elizabeth's Hospital. I'm sure it has changed much since then. This is another vintage book page. And this is the vintage wrapping paper. And a pocket. This was a scrap, actually. This is newer. This actually was given to me, but it's not old. But it was a scrap, so I went ahead and turned it into a pocket. Popped some tags in there. You can see I did stenciling, just so much stenciling throughout. A little bit of stenciling here. Oh, this is the other side of the file folder that's just so old. Another envelope here, and stuffed with two pockets. I'm sorry, stuffed with two tags. This was given to me by Penny of Penny's Crafty Creations. Then we have some vintage music paper there. The tabs are all made from vintage cotton. This is a piece from the kit. This is the eco die, but I put a picture from the kit on there, but you can open it up and write on that. And that's adhered to a book page. And then this is a piece, or this is a page from the printable printed out on the book page. And then here's the back, which is the old messenger envelope. So I love this. I think it's so cool. I mean, look at that, right? It's so yummy and so fun. I think it's very grungy. You'll need to let me know if you think it's grungy. Do you know what grungy means? I'm going to tell you. So I looked it up. And grungy just means dirty. And so I did so much stenciling and so much inking the edges with the black ink, which I hardly ever use. I did brown and black, but that definitely gave it a grungy look. And then using the old items that were already beat up and stained and all of that, I think adds to it. So my friends, I hope you like it. And make sure to check out all of the collaborators. I will list them in my description box for you. There are many people joining in on this Give a Scrap hop, so be sure to check them out. And thanks again to Angela, the traveling crafter, for hosting this. This is at least the second year of her hosting it, and I love this collaboration. And then also, check out my friend Jessie of Jessie Journals and Unboxes and give her some support as well. All right, my friends. Well, thanks for watching. See you soon.